Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the drama, heartbreak, or redemption that unfolds here. In the last episode, an astonishing twist changed everything. Tong, the man long shrouded in ambiguity, walking the line between loyalty and betrayal, finally revealed his true colors. He wasn't just a bystander. He was an undercover officer, working silently with the investigation team to dismantle the criminal empire led by John. But just as one truth surfaced, another heartbreak unraveled. James, still entangled in a web of hurt and confusion, had a fateful conversation with Tong. And what he heard shattered his world. Everything he had misunderstood about Diep had been manipulated by John, and Diep herself was now the target of a calculated kidnapping plot. Panicked and guilt-ridden, James bolted into action, not just to explain or to beg for forgiveness, but to protect the woman he loved from a danger he'd never anticipated. The silence between them. In the days without James, Diep's world turned gray. Her once vibrant life had dulled into a routine of painful endurance. No more morning laughter. No more late-night chats. Just silence, cold and lingering. She kept pretending everything was fine. She woke up on time, made her coffee, went to work, attended class. But the smallest trigger, a familiar scent, a song from the past, would unleash a storm of tears. Nights were the worst. She'd sit at the window, clutching James's old jacket, his scent fading, her hope along with it. Where did I go wrong? She whispered to the emptiness, and then came the gnawing thoughts, was he with Trang? That flawless, captivating woman who always seemed one step closer to him. Each unanswered message, every cold silence, made Diep believe more and more that maybe. James had truly left, so she worked harder. She studied longer. She buried herself in effort, as if trying to earn love again. But the void he left behind was too vast to fill. Because James wasn't just her lover. He was her light, her peace. And now, she was lost in her own shadow, the weight of misunderstanding. On the other side of town, James was unraveling too. The image of Diep smiling beside Tong, her hand accidentally resting on his, haunted him. Seeing them together on that old street, filled with memories, was a knife to the chest. He tried to tell himself she wouldn't do that. But the silence between them had grown too loud. Was she really gone? He was torn. Part of him still saw her, the quiet, kind Diep who stood by him in silence, who never demanded, only gave. But another part, bruised and mistrustful, couldn't ignore the doubts. Each night, the empty chair across the dinner table whispered accusations. His home, once a haven, echoed only with loneliness. It was his mother who noticed first. You haven't brought Deep by lately, she said gently. She's a good girl. I saw it in her eyes. Don't let her slip away, James. Those words hit hard. He had turned his back on Deep, retreating into pride instead of facing the truth. Then the phone rang. His most trusted subordinate, the one tracking John, delivered the news that snapped James into reality. John was moving, and Deep was the target, but that wasn't the worst part. Tongue was working with him. Racing against time, James's mind spun. The betrayal, the manipulation, every moment of Deep's pain, all orchestrated. Not just to hurt her, but to destroy him. John and Tongue had planted seeds of doubt, twisted their love into something fragile and uncertain. But no more. James roared down the road, the city blurring past. In his heart, one thought pulsed. Deep, don't be afraid. I'm coming. And then, there she was, standing quietly on the porch. Hair blowing in the breeze. Looking thinner, sadder, James froze. He had left her bleeding from silence. But now, he would make it right. He called her name. She turned, and in that moment, the world stopped. Tears streamed down her face as she fell into his arms, sobbing uncontrollably. You came, she choked. I'm sorry, James whispered into her hair. I should have trusted you. I never stopped loving you. Healing with honesty. Inside, in the warmth of the familiar, they sat together again, this time ready to speak the truths they had buried. James finally confessed his jealousy. I saw you with Tongue. I didn't ask. I just assumed. Deep replied gently, I was attacked. Tongue helped. That's all. It was never more than that. The only one I've loved is you. Relief and remorse collided in James's chest. I should have been there. I should have believed in you, but you came back, she said, smiling through tears. That's what matters most. They stayed up for hours, finally saying everything they hadn't said. Every glance, every word, was a step toward healing. Dinner was simple, but filled with meaning. Like a tiny family being reborn, they brewed tea, watched the sunset. Deep leaned on James's shoulder. And he, once the aloof CEO, washed the dishes with care while she watched with a soft smile. Love forged through fire. That night, James sat beside Deep as she drifted into peaceful sleep, the first in a long time. He whispered, "Sleep, my love. I'm here." But he didn't sleep. He stared at her face, heart aching with guilt and new resolve. The robbery? It hadn't been random. John had staged it. Another move in his twisted game. But no more. James knew this was just the beginning. John would strike again. Maybe Tong would too. But now, James wasn't alone. And he wasn't running, he held Deep's hand tighter. Whatever storm came next, they would face it together. Final glimpse. A storm still brews. Elsewhere, in a darkened room, John let out a chilling laugh. You think you've won, James? The game is just beginning.